Hey, everyone. Oh my goodness. It has been such a fun weekend. So, I went to Las Vegas this past weekend. It was so phenomenal. I haven't done really live events in a long time. So, this was like a small group of people. We went to Vegas and just did kind of a business mastermind thing for the weekend. And got so much vision and clarity. And I hope that you guys are launching into the new year with some vision and some clarity of what you want to have happen this year in your business. And I guarantee you that there is one thing that you likely want to have happen this year. And if there's one goal that you have this year, let's be honest, it probably has to do a little bit with money, right? If we're talking about our businesses. And so for us to be successful in our businesses, for us to reach our whys, for us to, accomplish the goals that we have in our business, it does come back to making money. And so one of the things that I am so excited about to chat with you today is money, because money is one of the things that makes our whys happen. And I want to be a people that are not afraid about talking about money, not afraid about talking about our goals, right? Revolving around money, and who celebrate when we have big financial achievements in our business. So I want to know if you have a goal about money, or if you have a big win that you want to share about money. Let's do that. Let's do that right now. Put it in the comments, because we're going to be people who celebrate one another and celebrate each other's successes and dreams, especially if they have to do about money. Okay, so go ahead and drop it below if you have one. And that's what we're going to be diving into. I don't think we talk about money enough, honestly. And money is not good or bad. It's a tool, right? And money is one of those things. We actually just in church this past weekend, we are talking about like generosity and things. And he pointed out that like money just makes you more of who you already are. And so if you're already a generous person, you'll be more generous, right? If you're already like a stingy or a worried person, you'll actually be more stingy or worried. And so it's literally just a tool, but it's a powerful tool that can really be used to accomplish some really big dreams. So, yeah, if you have a dream or a goal for this year that's financially based, drop it in the comments. Or if you have a celebration, like if you just signed a really big client, I want to know in the comments. Yes, I want to do 10K months. I love this. I want to make 10K months by May 2020. I want to quit my teaching job, become a full-time VA. I love it. Yes. And the reality is money is going to help you accomplish some of those whys, right? So, let's just dive in. As you guys are dropping a few more of those, I want to point out first that we are doing a big giveaway, and I'm so excited. Usually around Christmas time, we just find a way to share some love with you guys. And so we are actually giving away a year of coffee. It is our happy VA day, Valentine's, but just VA day. And you can win a year of Starbucks coffee. So you can enter to win at thevirtualsavvy.com/coffee. You'll get a $250 gift card to Starbucks, whoever wins. So you get coffee all year, or you could just get, I guess, like a really expensive espresso machine, right? Oh, I see a few more goals coming in. I want to retire my husband. I want to travel. I want to replace my corporate job income before May 2020. Yes, come on. That is a huge goal. I want to bring in $5,000 a month. Okay, so I love this. And some of you guys already have some really specific goals that are tied to tied to your finances. And I love that. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to talk all about money, and we are not going to hold back. And we're going to talk about what do you actually need to achieve some of those goals, right? What do you actually need in order to reach those financial goals, and talk a little bit about how you can get there. So let me go ahead and you guys just keep. Oh, wait, we have a big win. I love this. I want to share this one. Arby says my biggest win on money would be having a client that pays the same when I had 3 clients. Oh my gosh, yes. So you signed like a huge client. That's amazing. Everybody say congratulations to Arby. That is so great. So, we're going to talk money. That's what we're going to do today. So, the first question that I want to answer, and this is kind of for anybody who's maybe new to the virtual assistant realm, that we get kind of asked a lot is like, okay, let's talk about what kind of money could actually be in this, right? Like what am I looking at here? What is the potential? And so, what I love about virtual assistants is that this is your business and you genuinely get to craft it to be what you want it to be. So, some people start their virtual assistant journey and they say, okay, Abby, I want to, my goal, like I have 10 hours a week and I want to make, an extra $1,000 a month. Like that extra $1,000 a month would help my family in these ways. Okay, so and what we do a lot of times is we just break that down to simply an hourly rate, right? So if there's 4 weeks in a month and your starting rate is $25 an hour and you sell a 10-hour package, then and you sold four of those, right? So we would have that would be $250 a week that you would be making, and that's $1,000 a month, right? And so whenever you can take your goal, your big why, okay, what would it take to accomplish that big why? And put a dollar amount to it. There's nothing wrong. If it's like, I need to replace my income, okay, what is that actual dollar amount that you need to replace your income? Or I need to pay off debt. What does that look like? Come up with a timeline, right? Actually, I didn't even put this in, but I'm gonna drop another link here for you guys, just a free resource. And it is a free sheet that we use inside of our Savvy System group. You can go to the virtualsavvy.com/goals. And let me actually show this to you. This is a monthly goals spreadsheet. Okay. So can everybody see this? Okay. So you can go to the virtualsavvy.com/goals and you can download this totally free. It's actually fillable. So you can write in here or you could print it off. But sometimes your big why, if it's like 5K months, well, that sounds really, that's big, right? Like, and some of you guys said 10K months. That's a really, really big goal. And if you expect, oh, I think that's going to happen, within the next 2 weeks, like, I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen because you guys have shown me that some pretty amazing things can happen. But for me, I would love to put like, okay, by the end of February, March, April, May, June, and kind of break it apart. And so that's one of the things that you can do in a monthly goal spreadsheet. So we start with our why, the big why, right? So the big why is I want to quit my job. I want to pay off debt. I want to whatever, right? And you can put that at the end of your 12-month spreadsheet, right? For most of us, big things can happen in 12 months. And so, all right, by February next year, or by March of next year, here's the big goal. Put that in month 12, right? And then we're going to break it apart into smaller pieces. And so, hey, if I want to be making 10K months a year from now, then I'm going to break it apart and I'm going to do, 9K months, 8K months. Maybe I know the summer is crazy, so I'll skip a month and just kind of stay steady, right? Break it apart into your monthly goals. Does everybody have this spreadsheet? The virtualsavvy.com/goals. There's not even like, you don't even have to put in your email or anything. You just download it. Okay. We make it really easy. So you take your big goal and you spread it out. And so what is this doing? When we ask the question, here, let me go back to here. Sorry. I didn't make my stuff fancy today. When we ask the question, what does a VA salary look like? The reality is that you guys can choose what you want it to look like. Sorry, my camera got a little crazy. So if you say, I want to be making 10K months, then we make a plan to get you to 10K months. If you're like, hey, I want an extra $1,000 a month, then we make a plan to get you to an extra $1,000 a month, right? And really, when we talk about high-end packages, we talk about subcontracting, the sky is the limit of how big you want this to be. I spent this past weekend with Kate All. Some of you guys may know her. She owns Simple Pin Media. It's a Pinterest management agency, and they are doing $1 million years, okay, inside of her agency. And that's phenomenal. And so I don't want you guys to feel limited by what you can accomplish, but make your goals your goals. What do you want them to be? And really coming in with like a 12-month vision, I think is one of the best ways to come across that. Let me go to the comments. So see what you guys are saying here. Oh, so good. I'm scared to death, but willing to put everything on the line for a better income. Yes, totally. So what does a VA salary look like? It looks like what you plan for it to be. I mean, that's the bottom line. So we make a plan of how much income we want to make per month, and then we go for it. So one of the best ways, now that it's like, okay, cool. So I made this 12-month spreadsheet. I know I want to, some of you guys are dropping, like, I want to make 5K months. I want to make 10K months. So we have the big why. We put money to it, right? Okay, this is how much I would need to make that happen. We break it apart into monthly goals. Then the next step is kind of the like, okay, so what packages would I actually need? I see some people saying like, what services can I charge good money for? And so what we normally tell people to start out with is to, and this answers the question too, like, let's see, oops, how many clients, I spelled it wrong, so that's why I did it. How many clients should I have to go full time, right? Or to reach my income goals. It might not even be full time for you, it might be part time, right? So it comes into creating packages. What are your packages going to look like? So again, if you say I want to make $1,000 a month, you would need to sell 4 $250 packages to make $1,000 a month, right? And so we break it apart by our package pricing. So let me show you a little bit of what that can look like. Do you guys want to see some examples of some pricing? So the first two they're actually from our webinar we did the other day. So you're going to recognize these slides. But the first two are hourly. So this is Lynette, and when she was first starting out, now her pricing looks a little different now, but when she first started out, she started with hourly services, which is what we tell most people to do, right? And so she would have 20, 30, 40-hour packages. So a business could buy a 20-hour package at $40 a month, right? And so they'd be paying, what is that, like $800 a month for her base package. Okay. So if your goal is $8,000 a month, you know that you would need to sell. I'm like having to do quick math now. You guys are going to see how bad I am at math. But like 10 of those packages, right? 10 $800 packages would be $8,000 months. Now that may be like a lot. Let's see, what would that be? That'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 1,600. Yeah, so that'd be a lot of hours, but you guys can see how this can start to break apart, right? So let me show you another example. So $55 an hour is a 20-hour package of $1,100 a month, right? So you can sell your packages in hourly examples. So for a lot of people, they're going to start out with a package of, you could do 10, 20, 40 hours, and you put your hourly rate on there. So if your hourly rate is $50 an hour, $40 an hour, $30 an hour, whatever it is, then a 10-hour package at $30 an hour would be $300, right? And so you start to break apart, how many of those packages would I need to sell to get to my goals? Okay. Do you guys have questions about this? A lot of times, go ahead and drop them in the comments. This is just a conversation today, guys. A lot of times people have questions about creating their packages, and they get really, really stuck on, should I do hourly or high-end packages? And we're going to look at some examples of high-end packages too. But I like to start with hourly, because hourly is a really, really great example of like, okay, I know I have this many hours, and I have this many hours to work, right? Like none of us have 150 hours a week to work. No, we have 20, we have 10, we have 40, whatever it may be. I have this many hours to do client work. Okay. And my rate is this much. It equals this much money, right? Like it's really, really, really easy math to do when you're just doing those basic packages. And this is how many hours I have, and this is the rate I'm charging. So you can know what your income goals would be. And for most people, I actually tell them to start out with hourly services. And here's why. When we are first starting out, guys, we don't know how long things are going to take us, right? Like I remember when I first started doing virtual assistant services, I'm like, I'm going to do social media graphics, right? Like I'm going to create social media posts in Canva for people. I had no idea how long it took me to do one social media post, right? Like, does it take me 10 minutes? Does it take me an hour? I don't know, because I haven't done it, right? And so for a lot of us, I think that starting out with that hourly is a really great way to kind of just get our feet wet with doing tasks. It also doesn't lock us in, right? Like, so if you say, I'm going to do Facebook ads. I'm going to go all in with Facebook ads. And you learn Facebook ads, and then you start working with clients doing Facebook ads. And then, a month later, you're like, I hate Facebook ads. Well, now you have a whole docket of clients paying you for Facebook ads, and you hate doing Facebook ads. Like, that's why I really like the idea of doing hourly packages when you're first starting out, and just doing, general admin. And unless if you already have a niche that you're like, oh, I know I love building Squarespace websites, or I know I love managing Instagram, right? Start general, do these really basic packages, and do a little bit of everything. And if you're like, oh, I actually hate doing, SEO research, or I actually hate doing Facebook ads, or whatever it may be, like, cross that off your list. You don't have to do that, right? So I really, really love the idea of starting out with hourly packaging, and then eventually moving on to do some higher end niche services. So, what do you guys think about that? What questions do you have about starting out with an hourly rate? I'm happy to answer some of those questions. Let me remove my screen again. So, how many clients do I need to go full time or to replace my income? It really depends on if you're doing hourly. It depends on if you're doing package based, and I'm going to show you some good package based pricing here in a second. Let's see if you guys have some questions. Yeah, Christy was answering the questions. What are some of the highest paid high end services? And there's so many. And Christy, thank you for piping in here. She says Pinterest can be definitely lucrative. System setups, websites can be high dollar projects. Depends on how you set up your business. You'd have 5 clients do general admin with hourly packages, make money, great money as well. So true, so true. Yes, all of these live streams are recorded. I love it. When creating, okay, here's a good one. When creating a package, do you just multiply your rate by the hours? Yeah, so most of us, so again, if my rate's $30 an hour and I'm gonna do 10 hours, then that would be a $300 package, right? And so I normally tell people to do, with those packages, so you could do a set of 10, 20, and 40 hours, or maybe start at 20, right? A 10-hour package is actually only 2.5 hours a week for a business owner, and you can't get a lot done in 2.5 hours a week. So I love it when people start off with like 20, 40, 60 packages of how many hours. Some people discount their rate. Like if your rate's $30 an hour at that $10 or $20 package, then maybe your 60-hour package is like $28. You don't have to do that. Again, this is the beauty of this, is that you guys get to decide. You get to decide how you want to do your packages, but I love showing you examples so you get ideas. So you could just do $30 across the board. You could do 35 across the board. You could do, starting off, your rate is 30 for that base package. But if they did a 60 or an 80-hour package, right? 80 hours a month would be about 20 hours a week, right? Like that's a decent sized package. That would be huge for some of us. Some of us are like, I just need that. I just need one client, right? Okay, well then how much do you want to make? And make that kind of your hourly rate for that package, right? So good questions here. How long would you consider starting out and switching to packages? So really it's up to you. So whenever you're starting out, I do really advise to do those hourly packages, just because you're kind of getting a grasp. You're kind of like, oh, this is what I enjoy. This is what I don't enjoy. I find that once you're working with clients for a good 3 or 4 months, you really start to decide. That's kind of when we start seeing the shift of people saying, oh, it's clicking, right? Some of us just fall in love with general admin. You're like, I love having my hands in everything. And that's awesome. And so there's nothing wrong with staying with general admin, right? Like, absolutely nothing wrong with it. But some of you guys will, a client will say, hey, I know you haven't done this before, but could you help me in creating this online course? And you get in and you're like, I love creating online courses. And so you become a course creation specialist, right? And so that's also the beauty of this, is that like once you learn something, and you can use a tool like SavvyVault, right, to learn some of these high-end services. Once you start to learn something, like there's nothing stopping you from being a general admin VA today, and a month from now getting training and calling yourself a course creation specialist because you've dove in and you have learned that service, right? And so at that point that you're ready to switch, A recommendation I would have, so again, there's not necessarily a timeline. It's kind of like when you're ready and when you just feel like, man, this is what I want to be my next step. Here's my big recommendation, and please hear me when I say this, because I see a lot of people do this incorrectly, in my opinion, incorrect. There's nothing incorrect if if it works for you. But what I would not advise doing is if you're like doing general admin and you've got, you're making $2,000-$3,000 a month doing general admin, and you're like, I want to switch to YouTube. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to be a YouTube strategist. I'm going to help people find keywords and edit their videos and like create scripts. Like, I'm going to be a YouTube specialist, right? Some people will like do their general admin and then they're like, boom, forget it. New branding. I'm going to let go of all my clients. I'm doing YouTube. And you take your like $3,000 a month income down to zero. And then you have to like start from scratch again. So if you're going to niche down, sorry, my camera keeps going crazy. If you're going to niche down, what I would recommend is keep your general admin packages, keep your clients on those packages, and then introduce a YouTube package, right? And have them going kind of coincidingly. And once you build up some YouTube revenue and you have people like signing up for your YouTube packages, then once you're ready to make the switch, you could let go of your hourly packages. But some of us just get like so excited, and I get it because I'm this way too, where I'm like, ooh, new shiny thing, that we will like let go entirely of the thing that we've worked so hard to build and just go on to the brand new thing. So I would recommend doing them kind of consecutively. What's the average rate to start with? So Shelly, it really depends on, you know, if you're choosing general admin or if you have a higher end package. So examples of higher end packages would be like Pinterest, Facebook ads, YouTube management, podcast editing, PR and outreach. I mean, there's so many different types of high end packages. And so those honestly can be 50, 60, 100, $2,000 an hour, right? Because mostly we're doing package based pricing. We're not doing hourly when you have those big packages. And I will show you some examples of those in a little bit, right? But you're looking on the higher end, like 50, 60, and beyond, okay, when you're talking about those high end packages. When we're talking about hourly services, general admin, normally people do general admin at an hourly because there has to be some kind of exchange, right? If I come to you and I say, okay, I'm selling a website, you know what the deliverable is. The deliverable is a website. I'm going to have a 5-page website that's branded and works and all the things. And the value of that item, that website is $2,000, $3,000, whatever it is, right? That's the deliverable. A lot of times with general admin, it's hard to quantify a deliverable. So it's like, I'm doing general admin and here's what you're getting. Well, it might be a little bit of everything. This week, it might be social media. It might be scheduling. This week, it might be blog posts. It might be customer service. It's kind of a little bit all over the place with general admin. And so the deliverable is hours. Hey, I will do what you need me to do. I will take tasks off of your plate. And the deliverable, what I'm handing to you in exchange for money, is the hours, right? 10 hours a month, 20 hours a month. So that's why a lot of times general admin is just hourly, and then we switch to package-based pricing when we have a more niche service. So those hourly rates, if you're doing general admin, I would say most of our students, like, I can't tell you what your rate needs to be, like, that's a personal choice. But most of our students start $25, $30 an hour. Some people start as low as 20. Some people start their hourly rates as high as $50 or $55 an hour, right? So you get to decide that, which is awesome. But for most of our students, they're around like that $30 an hour is the sweet spot for general admin services. Okay. So good. Where can we see package examples? Okay, so let's actually dive into those. You guys want to do that a second? Let me show you some differences between services and package. And we're talking about money today. We're talking about, how to reach our income goals with money. And I really do believe that a lot of it is those goals. So again, if you haven't already, if you're maybe you weren't here before, you can go to thevirtualsavvy.com/goals. It's just a free little worksheet that you can do to plot out what you want to make financially, right? And then it goes into, well, like, how do I break this apart if I want to make $10,000 months or $5,000 months, how do I break those into my pricing? And so that way you can start to get some goals. Okay, I need 5 clients at this rate to make this amount. Okay. It becomes just numbers, and numbers are black and white. They're not emotional. They just are what they are. Right. So I like that. I'm not normally a numbers person, but I'm starting to appreciate that numbers, it's just data. That's all it is. Just take it at face value. Okay. So let's look at some of those packages. So again, we already did some of the like package based pricing, right? So 20 hours is $1,100 a month. That's $55 an hour, right? This would be kind of like what hourly packages would look like. But what would a high-end package look like? So one of our Savvy Systems students, her name's Samantha. She owns 1010 Social. This is her Facebook ads package, okay? And she has this lovely little sales page. This is really, really well done, Samantha. And she has, I'll do a strategy call, create your Facebook ads, the images, the pixels, manage and optimize monthly, and send monthly progress reports. Okay. So here, that's her deliverable. Here's what I'm handing you. And in exchange, it's $1,400 a month, right? $1,497 includes setting up your ads, targeting. So if her goal was to make, $15,000 a month, which is totally possible, she would have to sell 10 of these. Okay. So, and now it goes into like, oh, would I have enough hours to manage that? Well, Samantha at the end of the day knows how long it takes for her to manage someone's Facebook account. So maybe she has the hours herself that she could do this. Or once you have a systemized process like this, guys, and once you've niched down to, man, this is what I do, this is how I do it, it's so much easier to get help. So you could have subcontractors, right? And you're paying them a few $100s a month out of that $1,500 package, and you're keeping the profit from it, whatever that in between amount is. Okay. So this is a really, really great example of a high end package, and you can see how that money can kind of replicate itself over time. Samantha, you're killing it. I love it. This is one of my favorite examples. This is not a Savvy Systems student, but I just think they do a really, really great job in their packaging and their pricing. They are a website company. And I just want to show you because I like seeing examples where it's like the sky is the limit, right? So they do these branded websites, and so it's everything. It is like you get your branding, you get your pictures, right? Brand strategy, brand design, logo design, social media, website fonts, color inspiration, photo shoot. Like they will literally like come to you and do a photo shoot, I'm pretty sure. These are not the people that did my website. I just really like their packages. They have like, hey, here's our process. You do the website, brand collateral, all of that. Here's where you go through. I mean, they're positioning themselves as the experts, right? Which I think is really, really awesome. And then what's the investment? Look at this, $20,000. Holy moly, right? Like how many $20,000 packages would you need to sell to hit your goals? Like, man, some of you guys are like, shit, if I just did one website a year, I'd be happy, right? So, I want you to really see what can happen when you specialize in one just high-end service and you become an expert at it, right? And then even some of the things you can eventually outsource and get subcontractors. So yeah, does that help? And I can see if I could pull up some more, but let me see if you guys have any questions. Actually, let me going on the fly here. I want to see. I was talking about Kate, who has the Pinterest services. Let me see if she has her packages up here. Yeah, okay, so here's another really good one. Let me show you guys. Boop, boop, boop. We're just jumping around today. So Simple Pen Media, this is the gal who owns the Pinterest agency. She's a good friend of mine, does, $1 million years. And she has her Pinterest management services, right? And she has a systematized process. I think it's really important to know that Kate has a team, right? Like it runs itself, and she has taught people how to do Pinterest the way that she wants it done. And so they're able to profit $1 million, but she's paying some of that out into subcontractors. So, daily management of pins, email support, monthly reporting for $600 a month, or she has a $950 a month package that includes some more, a strategy call with your account specialist, and then her VIP management is $2,000 a month. Okay. So I feel like it's just good to see examples of different high end services so you guys know, oh, this is what's really possible. Okay. So, you guys, are you understanding the difference between package based pricing and high end pricing, like high end niched packages? It's that hourly versus package rates. I have a feeling you guys have more questions. So, let's dive into it. I love examples. I just love seeing package examples. I hope that you loved them too. See that we were getting questions about that. This is a good question. How do you handle it if a client purchases a package and you're unable to fulfill the hours purchased? So this is something that I would handle on the front end of things. Do not overcommit yourselves, guys. Do not overcommit what you're able to do. In that particular circumstance, number one, I would look at your contract. What does your contract say? Please, please, please always have a contract. If you don't have a contract already, we have one, the virtualsavvy.com/store. We have a contract that you can use. But what does your contract say? If it were me and I hadn't already specified, I would roll those hours over to the next month, but I would not make a habit of that, guys. If you're rolling hours over to the next month, if it's on you, right? Now, if it's on them, if it's like, hey, they didn't give me enough work, like they signed up for this 20-hour package and they only gave me 15 hours worth of work. Well, those it's use it or lose it, right? Like, because you just don't want hours continually rolling over. Like that just gets really really messy, right? And so that's it's to the benefit of the business owner, right? Like, you're paying me for 20 hours a month. It is to your benefit. You hired me for that many hours for a reason. So let's make sure that you're actually delegating. It's hard sometimes for business owners to really really delegate. But if it's on you, if you're like, oh, like I had a medical emergency or something like that, number one, look to your contract. And if for some reason you didn't state it in your contract, I would, do kind of push it on to the next month is what I would do. But let's see. Oh yeah. So then that kind of answers this question. If a client buys 10 hours in the end of the time frame, you only work 8, should you refund? So that's not what I put in my contracts. We do kind of like a use it or lose it situation. So what I would do is if this client did 10 hours for the month, okay, I bought a 10-hour package. And after week 1, they've only spent 1 hour, I'd be like, hey, 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 remember, you bought a 10-hour package. Like, this is how long this is taking me. Make sure that you're giving me enough to sustain that, because at the end of the month, the hours start over, right? And so if it's the last week of the month and they've only used 5 hours, I'd be like, hey, 5 hours, come on, let's do it this week. And that's why, and you don't want all of your clients doing that. So really keeping in good communication. I recommend doing either like a Friday intake form or a Friday meeting where you guys kind of group together, say, hey, they are either filling out a form or having a physical meeting with you where it's like, hey, here's what we got done this week. Here's what the plan is next week. This is how many hours I think it'll take. If you need more projects, that's the time to ask them about more projects. Okay. Ooh, this is a great question, Anna. How often should I be increasing my rates? Once a quarter, every time I onboard a new client. So, when you're first getting started, a lot of times some of us will start off at an hourly rate because we're like, oh, I can't believe I'm charging so much money for something, right? And it just seems really scary. So, I love doing incremental pricing with every new client you sign on. So, client number 1, $25 an hour. Client number 2, $27. Client number 3, $30. Now, it doesn't mean you change client number 1 up to $30 an hour. I would say with current clients, so if I sign someone at $20 an hour, right, my very first client, I would keep that person at that price for 4 to 6 months. Again, check your contract, make sure that you haven't locked them in at a certain price for like a year or something. But I would wait to do a rate increase until, 4 to 6 months, or until let's just be honest. make sure whenever you're ready to do a rate increase that you're ready for the potential of that client not continuing on with you. And that's not a bad thing. Some people just simply, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have done it. It doesn't mean any of those things. Some people just simply can't afford, if your rate was $20 an hour, now it's $30 an hour, maybe they can't afford that, right? And so anytime you do a rate increase, you always have to build in the potential, if you're raising a rate of a current client, that they may not continue on with you, and you have to be okay with that, right? And it is a good thing, because the better you get at marketing, hey, if I let go of one person, it's just making room for somebody who can pay me this, right? But it's just something to consider as you're raising rates. So then you'll get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm charging $50 an hour for admin services. Like, there is a cap, right? I believe there is a cap, and you'll kind of have to feel that out yourself, or you can ask, like, what do you think the cap is? I think the cap for general admin services, it's kind of like general admin goes from like that 20-ish to 50-ish range, and then higher end services is like 50 and up. That's kind of, and then can go on from there. So that's kind of my recommendation, but it's really up to you how you decide to increase those. Would you advise being a VA OBM? So a lot of people will start off as virtual assistants and then move on to being online business managers. There are people who have so we're big fans of Sarah Nokehead. She has a great OBM program. So if you go and read through her stuff and you're just like, oh, OBM, that's what I want to do, then you can jump straight to OBM. Just like if you were to, read about Pinterest management and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is all I want to do. I just want to do Pinterest management. Well, then learn Pinterest and just do Pinterest. You can jump ahead. See, you guys, can you tell my screen keeps going wonky? You can jump ahead, right? It's like, you don't have to start off as a VA, but for a lot of people, they like starting off as a VA just because it does give you kind of that opportunity to test and try a lot of different things. So, I would check out both and see which one resonates with you the most, and then dive into the program that you feel like is best for you. Besides Kajabi, what program is used for course creation? Oh, there's so many great tools out there. So Kajabi is a great one. That's what we use over at the Virtual Savvy. There's also Teachable, Thinkific. There's, like people will do their like memberships, so reoccurring memberships on sites. So there's some sites that are just made for memberships, but I'd say the top 3 right now are Thinkific, Kajabi, and Teachable are the 3 that most people are familiar with. As far as course platforms go, these are such good questions, guys. I hope you're enjoying this. Let's see here, you guys. I love this. Would it be best to suggest a lower package? Oh, so if somebody, so let's say that I think you're asking about like raising your rate. So let's say that you have a client that's doing, see if I can do fast math, right? You're doing $20 an hour, and they've signed up for a 20-hour package, right? So that would be $400 a month. So let's say that you're ready to raise your rates to $30 an hour, right? And you approach that person and you're like, hey, my rates are $30 an hour now, which means that your monthly package will go from $400 a month to $600 a month. Don't shoot the messenger if I'm doing my math wrong, but I think I'm doing it right. Okay. And they're like, oh, I can't really afford that. Right. So rather than being like, okay, you can stick with my $20 an hour rate, like by all means, you could say, okay, well, at $30 an hour, what if we do, instead of a 20-hour package, let's do a 15-hour package, right? Which would get you about to where you were before. And so that could be an option as well. If you've decided to raise your rate, and somebody fights against it, they're like, no, I don't suggest backing down from that. Like, if you've decided to raise your rate, you know your worth. That's why, always be ready for somebody to say, oh, I'm not willing to move up with you on that. It's my suggestion. You guys can do what you want, but I think that's the way I would go about it. Oh, great questions. What's the best way to track hours worked for each client? So there's so many different tools out there. One of the ones that we really like and suggest because it's free is called Toggle. It's Toggl. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Um, we're doing some screen sharing today. So Toggle is a time tracker, and I really like it because you literally can just click it and you can start tracking your time. And then you can go back and categorize it, and it does reporting for you. So you literally can send your client like this really beautiful report and makes you look really professional at the end of the week. So that's why I'm a really big fan of Toggle. You can see kind of this is what it looks like. And yeah, they have a free account, and then there's different pricing options too. So the free you use for the first 5 users, right? Like unlimited time tracking. So most of us can just use the free. Most of us won't even need any of their higher programs, which is why I really like it. A lot of tools have time tracking built into them. So if you've used something like Dubsado, I believe that they have a time tracking system inside as well. And they also do like invoicing and client management as well as Honeybook. Okay, so Honeybook is another one. Okay, and it has time tracking and reporting built into their system as well. So there's lots of different tools out there, guys, and a lot of them have either free trials or like a free plan that you can use for your first few clients. So again, one of the things I love about virtual assistants is that it's mostly free to get started because a lot of the tools that are out there are really, really easy to use and have free trials. If you're like, oh, what are all these tools? How am I going to learn all these tools? Check out SavvyVault. This was not supposed to be, oops, not that. It's um actually, yeah. Check out SavvyVault. It's our page that's not loading. The SavvyVault. Let's try that. So if you are interested in learning these different tools, right? You're like, oh my gosh, Honeybook, Toggle, Dubsado, Pinterest, Facebook ads, websites. Like, this is getting really overwhelming, Abby. Do I have to learn all of this? Number one, no. Stop. You do not have to know all of this. When I started virtual assistants, guys, I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what a virtual assistant was. Okay. Anything can be learned, but you don't have to learn everything. And I think that's really important to emphasize is that you don't have to know it all. But if you're looking for a back pocket resource, SavvyVault is a really, really great place to start. It's our tech training membership. And so we have all these different courses, right? We have Adminja, which is another thing kind of like Dubsado or Honeybook. We have Amazon store setup, branding and design, Calendly, which is like a calendar management system. We have a course creation course. So you could literally become a course creation specialist by watching the course creation course. You become a community manager, right? Dig into Dubsado, dig into so you can see all the different courses we have here. So this is a really great back pocket resource. I don't want anyone ever feeling like they have to learn all of these because that is not the point of SavvyVault. It's like you're not supposed to be an expert at all of these, but you come in, see, here's some of those course creation ones, Thinkific, Teachable. You can come in and learn what you need to learn. So just a quick shameless plug for SavvyVault because I know some of the tech can feel a little overwhelming. Okay, so the question was time tracking. So thanks for sticking with me through that. So Toggle, Honeybook, Dubsado, Adminja, I'm pretty sure all of those have time tracking tools in them. Oh yeah, Christy has a great systems package as well. Thank you for posting that there. Okay, this is a really good question. Guys, you guys are asking like the best questions. This is a fun live stream. Okay, do you list your prices on your portfolio or website, or do you tell them rates and do you wait to tell till discovery calls? So do you like my answers? It's up to you. This is how I answer questions. It's up to you, but here's what I would suggest because at the end of the day, it is your business and you get to decide. There is no right or wrong answer. You get to decide. However, from my experience, here's what I would suggest. I would suggest, yes, having your prices listed on your websites. And here's why. It serves as a pre-qualifier, okay? If your rate is $40 an hour and you're interviewing, like you have a discovery call with somebody who can, like, at the end of the day, cannot pay you more than $10 an hour, like like their budget and your price don't line up, so why waste your time on a call with them, right? Like, your time is important, your time is valuable, which is why I love having pricing listed on a website. Or if you're like, oh, but my prices are my price really depends on whatever they say, da 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 da, okay, then put, pricing starting at this much an hour, or packages starting at this much, because again, it's just kind of serves as a pre-qualifier. We think we want less people booking discovery calls. Like, oh, am I trying to detract people from doing discovery calls? Yes. If they're the wrong people, you were trying to detract those people. If there are people who can't afford you and can't afford your rate, then you don't want them signing up for discovery calls with you. Okay. Yes. We feel good. So that's why I suggest having it on there. So good. We have not discussed where to find clients on this webinar. Today, we're just talking pricing, packaging, money, all of that. But what I would suggest, let me type it in here. Okay, we do have a free training, thevirtualsavvy.com/BBO. That's for become booked out, become a booked out virtual assistant. And we talk a lot about, we do talk about pricing and packaging a little bit in this webinar, but we also talk a lot about marketing. So while we're not talking about marketing today, this webinar is really, really good for that. So you could check it out afterwards, okay? Bueno, bueno, let's see. Oh, Clockify, that's another good one. Thank you. Do you create packages ahead of time or when your client addresses their needs? I am a big fan of creating them ahead of time. So deciding, because at the end of the day, your business should be a reflection of you and the services you want to provide and the skills that you have, right? So create your packages based off of what you like to do and what services you want to offer and the hourly rate that you want to have. Okay. Now, when you get on a call, a client may be like, hey, by the way, I was thinking maybe could you also do this? And then you get to choose, oh, actually, yes, I can offer that service. Or you could, one of my favorite lines, I don't have experience in that, but I'm willing to learn, right? I love that line for sure. Or, hey, no, that's actually not something I offer at this point. So I'm a big fan of creating packages ahead of time. Oh my gosh, so many good questions. How what percent should go to a subcontractor? There's no hard, fast rule. Normally I say have your rates high enough that you could pay the subcontractor 20 to 30% of the total package price. So let's say that you have a Facebook ads package that's $1,000 a month. I would make it in your budget and make sure that your rate is high enough that you could pay that subcontractor $200 to $300 a month, right? So that's just kind of a general rule of thumb and what I suggest. All right, guys, this has been super fun. Let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed this as much as I have. Thank you for joining us today. I really want to encourage you. Let's not let money be one of those things that we're scared of talking about. Let's not let money be one of those things that we're ashamed of. When we have celebrations about money, even just picking your packages, right? You choose your packages. Guys, I want you to celebrate with one another that you have decided on your packages, that you have decided on what your services are worth, because that's a really, really big deal. If you say no to a client because they want to pay you less, like celebrate that, right? Because it's a really, really big deal. And don't forget, thevirtualsavvy.com/coffee. We have a free giveaway going on right now. We will be announcing the winner, I believe, yeah, next Tuesday on February 15th. So it's kind of our Valentine's Day giveaway, our VA giveaway, and we'll be giving away $250 of Starbucks gift cards to one lucky winner. So go to thevirtualsavvy.com/coffee to enter. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I hope that you had a fun time. I sure did. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.